Good morning, I'm Maddie Jansen, and this is the podcast of 17 News at Sunrise. It's everything you need to know to start your day in about 15 minutes.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning. Alcohol may be to blame for a deadly crash in Delano. What police say the driver was doing on social media before, and what they found at the scene of the crash.
Sexual misconduct allegations and upset about a deficit in the budget. We've obtained police documents revealing more information about the case of the late McFarland city manager, John Wooner. The question he asked his wife on the last day Wooner was seen.
Gaining strength, overnight Hurricane Dorian was upgraded to a Category 2 storm, and it's headed straight for Florida. The concern for the Sunshine State and how residents are preparing before it strikes. It is Friday, August 30th, 2019. Good morning. Good to have you with us. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher. Wrapping up August, wrapping up the work week.
Yeah, we also want to welcome back our AT&T UVerse and DirecTV customers after almost 2 months of, being without us. So we're really glad to have you here this morning on this finally Friday.
I had a lot of people messaging me yesterday saying they've missed us, and we cannot say how grateful we are, that people in our community actually feel that way.
Oh, so, for sure.
Really
and it was frustrating for us as well, because a lot of people even here had the same issues. So we're glad that everyone is back, and we're going to, of course, start your Friday morning off with your forecast.
Let's check in with Kevin. He is in our lobby where donations have been piling up for the Bakersfield Animal Care Center.
Good morning, Maddie. Good morning, Alex. Yeah, we're doing things a little different this morning. Instead of being outside, we're going to be inside this morning, and you can see all the items that we've collected so far for Phil the Tundra. Again, all this being brought to you by Bill Wright Toyota, North Bakersfield Toyota, and 17 News, all to support the City of Bakersfield Animal Care Center. And we care about our animals, and we want the community to be a part of this. And you can see people have dropped by blankets, they've puppy pads, all types of stuff for the shelter. One thing that they are emphasizing, they don't need the food. We do have some food, which has been nice, but they really need like the cleaning supplies, the blankets, the dog beds, that sort of thing. So we're asking you to come down and support this today. And we'd like you to stop by our lobby from 8 to 5. And we have the Tundra outside, but if you come in and drop something off between 8 and 5, we're also going to give you a coupon for a dozen Krispy Kreme donuts. So there is a little incentive if you drop something by between 8 and 5 today. Let's talk about the weather forecast, and we're looking at a cooler day. It's been very nice to see temperatures into the 90s, and right now we're at 70 degrees with a northwest wind at 7 miles per hour. And as we take a look at the dog walk forecast, Ariel, the pup of the day, she's on her back saying, I do not want to go outside, but it's a good morning to do so, and then this afternoon we start to warm things up by 2 o'clock into the 90s. 59 degrees in Tehachapi right now, a north-northwest wind at 3 miles per hour. And as we take a look at your hour-by-hour forecast for today, 72 at 9, and then we will be looking at those mid-80s as we head into this afternoon. So, again, going to be a beautiful day out there, much cooler. That's always good news in the weather department. We can keep it below 100, and it's a great day, our final day for Phil the Tundra. We hope that you'll come out. Again, our lobby will be open from 8 to 5 today if you'd like to drop by and help out the City of Bakersfield Animal Care Center. Maddie and Alex, we'll send it back to you for now.
Great haul there. Looks really
sure.
Great. Thanks,
right.
Kev.
Let's take a look at your morning commute now, and we'll take you outside for the first time this morning to the 99 near White Lane, and it's looking pretty clear on that side of town. Everything else around the county also looking pretty good. To start off your finally Friday, we'll have another check coming up in about 15 minutes.
First this morning, we're learning more about a deadly crash that happened just east of Delano. One person died in the crash yesterday afternoon on Cecil Avenue and Reed Road. The CHP says a Chevy Cruze veered across the lane and hit a pickup truck. The Cruze driver died at the scene. Paramedics airlifted his passenger to Kern Medical with major injuries. No word on how he's doing this morning. The driver's family members told CHP they saw Snapchats of him drinking and taking pills just before the crash.
The driver's cell phone was located on his lap. It's unsure at this point if he was texting or Snapchatting live at that moment. But I wish people would realize the dangers of texting and driving and the use of cell phone. Whether you're intoxicated or not, it's an inherent danger, and it takes your attention away from what you're doing, which is driving a vehicle, which in upwards weigh 2 tons, which is a weapon.
CHP says beer cans were strewn about the crash scene. The truck driver was not hurt.
We're tracking several high-profile court cases today. The first, the former boyfriend of a missing woman Bailey Despot, is set to appear before a judge in 3 separate cases, none of which are related to the disappearance of Despot. Police arrested and charged Matthew Queen earlier this month for allegedly threatening to kill a young woman he took to an orchard at gunpoint. Court documents reveal the victim says Queen held an AR-15 to her head and questioned her about Despot being faithful to him. Despot remains missing. Police have linked her case with that of Michael Holzenbeek, who went missing around the same time. His arm was later found in a duffel bag in the river. Queen has never been named a suspect in Despot's or Holzenbeek's cases. Deon Hodge is also due in court today. He is the man who escaped police after leading them on a chase. Last month, police tried to pull over Deon Hodge. They say he's a suspect in a number of shootings in Bakersfield, but Hodge led officers on a chase and got out of his car near Plans Park, then managed to escape. Police arrested Hodge in Sacramento earlier this month. He's being held on a $1 million bail.
The case against Kern County Supervisor Leticia Perez continues today. Perez faces 2 conflict of interest misdemeanor charges in relation to her vote on medical marijuana. Earlier this month, the judge in her case ruled Perez's defense team has produced some evidence that prosecutors discriminated against Perez in filing of charges. However, the judge wrote there is no evidence former District Attorney Lisa Green played any role in the decision to charge Perez because of Perez's support for a candidate not backed by Green. Pretrial hearings continue today.
We continue to track Hurricane Dorian as it makes its way closer to Florida. Here's a bird's eye view of the storm. Dorian is now a Category 2 hurricane and is expected to continue to strengthen over the weekend as it advances towards Florida. The National Hurricane Center said overnight the storm has maximum sustained winds of 105 miles per hour, meaning it is just short of being a Category 3, which is considered a major storm. People in the Sunshine State are preparing for Dorian. Forecasters expect it to make landfall on Florida's east coast on Monday. Lines at gas stations in South Florida are already long this morning. Jay Gray is in Cocoa Beach with a closer look at the storm and preparations across the strike zone.
Vicious winds and driving rain, evidence of the power of Dorian in the Caribbean. And forecasters warn the storm, fueled by the warm water in the Atlantic, is intensifying.
A major hurricane coming our way sometime during Labor Day.
The current forecast indicates Dorian could be a Category 4 storm with winds over 130 miles an hour. But the track of the storm still isn't clear.
The truth of the matter is that we are under the cone. The whole state is under the cone. And where it lands, nobody knows.
So officials are warning millions across the state to make sure they're ready.
The time to act is now.
Lines stretching outside of grocery stores and gas stations, others filling sandbags and gathering supplies.
From batteries, flashlights, generators, extension cords, anything that they can use that are going to give them the survival.
Survival that officials stress could depend on the next few days of preparation.
You need to take care of your family, your pets, your friends.
Before Dorian reaches the coast. Jay Gray, NBC News, Cocoa Beach.
And as people in Florida prepare for Hurricane Dorian to make landfall, the city of New Orleans is commemorating the 14th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. Mayor LaToya Cantrell laid a wreath at the Katrina Memorial on Canal Street yesterday. The date marks 14 years since the storm made landfall. Nearly 100 unidentified victims of the massive Category 5 storm are laid to rest at the memorial. The final Katrina death toll is uncertain, but at least 1,500 people in Louisiana died in that storm.
The sheriff's office is investigating a series of threats made at several Kern County schools. The first happened Sunday afternoon. KCSO says 3 students from Desert High School at Edwards Air Force Base received a threat on Instagram. The user threatened to shoot and stab students at the next football game and rape cheerleaders. Detectives say the 15-year-old suspect was actually one of the, quote, victims and sent the threat to himself to try and throw off investigators. Deputies arrested the teen and booked him in a juvenile hall for making criminal threats and filing a false report. On Tuesday, deputies responded to Alicante Elementary in Lamont. That's where a 9-year-old student said he intended to kill teachers and staff. Deputies found he did not have access to firearms and sent the case to Juvenile Probation and Child Protective Services. Then Wednesday, a Kern Valley High School student was seen on social media putting a handgun in his backpack and posted for people to not go to school in the morning. Deputies spoke to the student and his parents and learned the gun was a pellet gun and the student was mimicking a music video. KCSO says in all 3 incidents, the suspects did not have actual intent to carry out the crimes. Denver mother is taking the city and county to court after she says she was forced to give birth alone in a jail cell. Her entire ordeal caught on camera. We want to warn you, the video can be hard to watch. Diana Sanchez says she first raised the flag at just after 5 a.m. on July 31st, 2018, telling a deputy she was in labor. Her lawyer says she tried at least 9 times to get help. At one point, officials slipped an absorbent pad under the cell door. Finally, 10:44 a.m., she gives birth to her baby boy. Afterwards, staff entered her cell, and 32 minutes later, she was taken to the hospital. So now Sanchez is suing the city and county of Denver Health Medical Center, and various staff members for negligence. In a statement, the Denver Sheriff Department says her cell was located in the jail's medical unit, and Sanchez was under the care of Denver Health medical professionals. The jail says it has changed the policy to make sure inmates in labor are immediately taken to the hospital. Sanchez was being held on identity theft charges.
Another tragic case of just how hot the inside of a car gets in just minutes. A 1-year-old North Carolina boy is dead after being left in a hot car yesterday. But in this case, the toddler was left inside all day long. Police say the mother realized what happened when she got back to her car in a Lowe's parking lot around 5 p.m. Police questioned the mom and says she's cooperating. Officers say she is understandably distraught. They're now trying to figure out how this happened. KidsinHotCars.org reports this is the 37th hot car death nationwide this year.
Here at home, it could have been a similar case, but thanks to Kern County firefighters, it wasn't. KCFT posted these pictures on Instagram yesterday. Firefighters say yesterday a kid got locked inside the blue truck there at Raising Cane's on Coffee Road. Firefighters from Station 65 were able to get the door unlocked and the child out safely, thank goodness.
You know, unfortunately, we do report on this every once in a while, and it's just a good reminder that, you know, for those who don't have kids, I don't have kids, but and to me, I go, how can this happen?
There are lots of parents who say that on social media, and you don't understand it until it happens to you. That you know how tired you get as a new parent. You're sleeping sometimes like less than 3 hours a night. You're off your schedule. And you think, how could a parent ever do this by mistake? And obviously, sometimes these don't happen by mistake, but it can happen. And just accepting that fact and knowing that as a parent is giving you the power to put things in place to make sure it doesn't ever happen to you and to spread the word and to just, advocate for these devices in cars that can stop this from happening.
And if even if it's as simple as putting a cell phone, in the back of your car and just making that just a practice, can, of course, prevent these tragedies.
They say. Yeah. You're not going to walk out without your shoe, no matter how tired you are. I have forgotten my cell phone in my car. You forget a lot of things when you're exhausted.
But, how easy is it to just take your shoe off and put it in
the
back?
You do that, you're not going to walk out without your shoe.
There's just
guaranteed.
Some good tips there. All right.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
A warning this morning for homeowners with glass cooktops in your kitchens. More than 26,000 glass cooktops have been recalled because they can turn themselves on. They were sold at Lowe's, Home Depot, Best Buy, and other stores between March 2017 and August 2019 under the Whirlpool, KitchenAid, and JennAir brands. The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission says the cooktops pose a burn and fire hazard, but the recall notice does not explain how they turn themselves on. If you have a cooktop like that in your home, you're urged to contact Whirlpool to arrange for the installation of a free replacement cooktop or one of the other companies where you received that cooktop. It's official, Apple has confirmed some of what many techies have expected. The tech giant sent out invitations yesterday for an event at its Cupertino campus September 10th. That's just 11 days away. At the event, Apple's expected to unveil its latest upgrade to its iPhone line, potentially several models with an iPhone 11 brand. Apple's also expected to reveal an updated Apple Watch and new TV-related services. YouTube's launching a separate kids-only website aimed at shielding youngsters from potentially disturbing videos. YouTube Kids comes on the heels of the company's YouTube Kids app. It's expected to go live later this week. The site will have 3 separate settings for age ranges: preschool, ages 5 to 7, and ages 8 to 12. The move comes after criticism that YouTube has allowed inappropriate, misleading, and sometimes violent videos to spread on the service. The original YouTube site is also getting new filters which allow parents to manually control the videos their kids are able to see.